Hi guys and welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, welcome. Today I'm going to be doing another story time video, and this time it will be my close encounter with a knife. So we better get started. So this encounter was actually at the last care home that I worked at. Obviously for confidentiality reasons I will not be naming any names. So for this story I'm going to rename the person involved. Let's call him Alan. I can call him Alan. And then my colleague, Katie. Let's call her Katie. I'm trying to think of a really bog standard name that I didn't work with. Right, so me and Katie were setting out the dining room, ready for our guys to have dinner. We're obviously setting the table, and I was in the dining room already with Alan. And one of his activities that he chose to do that day was he wanted to make fruit smoothies and fruit salads. We were trying to encourage him to be a little bit more independent, kind of cut up the fruit himself, use the blender, la la la. Due to his temperament, I had already decided not to give him a chopping knife, which thank God I didn't. I'd just given him sort of a normal knife that you'd use to eat dinner with. So relatively sharp, but obviously it's going to do a lot less damage than obviously a carving knife or something like that. Katie came up to me and she went, right, we're going to have to start bringing the guys in for their dinner, so you and Alan are going to have to pack up. I went, yep, that's fine. I started packing things away, obviously told him what I was doing, and I literally left the room for all of 2 seconds to go from one room. So the dining room was adjoined to the living room by literally just a wide doorway, and I literally just went through the doorway, and immediately in the doorway was the island in the kitchen. And I literally put the chopping board and the blender on the table, and by the time I turned round, Alan had managed to get out of his chair and was holding the knife. He had a smile on his face, so I didn't assume automatically that it was threatening behaviour. So I just asked him, I was like, Alan, what are you doing? And he was like, I've got a knife. And I was like, yes, I know you've got a knife. Should we put that in the sink, trying to promote independence and distract him? I was like, should we put it in the sink and wash it up, or would you like to put it in the dishwasher? He went, no, I want to stab you. So at this point I was like, oh, okay, don't fancy getting stabbed. So I notified Katie, and I was kind of like, look, he's got a knife, you need to kind of clear the area, as I could then see him was advancing towards some of the other guys in the room and was grabbing out for any person's wheelchair or just head that was nearby. So we evacuated the room, which then left me and Katie in the room together. I tried to take the knife off of him and was trying to like coerce him into sort of giving it over, tried bribery of I'd take him to the shops the next day, or even tried to guilt trip him into telling him, oh, what would your mum or nanny think if they knew that you had like hurt someone with a knife? You know it's not a good thing to do. And he just kept repeating, I'm gonna stab you, I've got a knife, as well as a very long string of swear words. And every time I made any sort of body contact with him, he would lash out at me with the knife. Surprisingly, blind people have very good hearing, so we both took our shoes off and were padding around on the floor of the living room, trying to make as little noise as possible. In the end, we decided that because of his hearing and because of the mindset he was in, he clearly wasn't in the right stage of whatever he was going through to be dealt with by just one person. So I took it upon myself to keep talking to him and keep distracting him, and basically luring him away from the door we had just evacuated all the other guys out of. And then we had Katie, who went behind the back of him, and the more I was speaking to Alan, the more I was speaking about what we're going to do the next day. Oh, are we going to go and get some food? Started talking about making pasta bake or maybe some cake tomorrow. Started talking about things that he really, really enjoys. So he became a lot more relaxed, but still obviously had the mindset of he was going to use the knife. But he became so relaxed that his grip wasn't as tight on the knife anymore. And Katie came up behind him and grabbed the sharp end of the knife and just pulled it out of his hand while he was off guard. He obviously was quite angered by this because he then lashed out quite a lot. We got called pretty much every name under the sun. Obviously I had to write an incident report, and to be honest I did cry a little bit. It wasn't out of fear though, it was more shock and disappointment in myself because I didn't think anything like that would ever happen. I was quite disappointed in myself that I was silly enough to leave him with a knife, but I thought it's only a kitchen knife, as in like a dinner knife, it's nothing too dangerous. And clearly I learnt from my mistakes, because yeah, didn't leave him alone with any cutlery then. He obviously was explained the consequences of what he was doing, and yeah, I was quite disappointed that I had just a slight lapse in judgment. It was quite a short story time, guys, but that is my close encounter of almost getting stabbed by a blind person. Thank you guys again for watching. Of course, don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below, and if you'd like to obviously see more story times from me, either leave me a comment or a like down below and I will get on that straight away. So I'll see you in the next video. Bye.